Hi, Fashionators. How are you? I don't have a lot of time or a lot of battery, but it's been a minute since I swung by to say hi. So while I'm out here making myself a little vitamin D, while I'm out and about, I figured I'd stop by and say hi to you guys and let's talk. And let me know if you can hear me, because this gizmo is kind of new to me, and I really am not quite sure how to work it. So if you can hear me, let me know. That would be really helpful. And meanwhile, hi Denise. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you here. Hi John, thanks for stopping by. I've wanted to talk about this again for a minute because I'm still hearing about it. I really thought that this topic was pretty much covered already, but yeah, as things go, nothing's really covered entirely, right? So let's address this one for real again. Hi Tammy, thanks for stopping by. And Lionel, thanks for coming on through here, because this is something we need to talk about. There's a lot of attention to this whole idea that a lot of times men don't approach certain women because they're intimidated by the women. And I just want to offer my own perspective on that. Most of the time, what is popularly circulated in media isn't necessarily accurate, but because it sounds good and because people resonate with it and because they can jump on the bandwagon and make themselves feel better by it, they make it popular. But popular isn't necessarily accurate. So this is what I consider to be accurate, having been on in this discussion more than a couple of times, personally and professionally. I find it very interesting, the whole idea that men are intimidated by women at all. So here is my experience with that. Men are not intimidated by women. And why should they be? I mean, seriously, and there's no reason for women to be intimidated by men either. That's just a different discussion for a different time when I have more battery. But right now, I'm trying out this bold new lip color, honey. I don't know. I've got grown in my... I messed around and grew up. But anyway, I digress. Here's what I think gets lost in this conversation oftentimes. I have been told by, personally and professionally, that I could be intimidating for a variety of reasons. But here's what I know for sure. There is a difference between you being intimidated and me being intimidating. They are not the same. And just because someone decides that they receive you as intimidating does not mean that that's what you are. Just because they're intimidated by you does not mean that you're intimidating. If you show up in any relationship situation authentically, if you just show up being who you are, how you are, any day of the week and twice on Sunday, then understand that you have fulfilled your obligation in any human interaction, intimate or otherwise. You have met your obligation. You have shown up with honesty and integrity, and that is all that you are expected or even required to do. How people receive you is entirely up to them. And I say this because I see so many women trying to tie themselves into pretzels to make men who claim to be intimidated by them comfortable, to try to shrink or hide or somehow alter who they actually are in order to make the people around them more comfortable. And I'm still waiting on somebody to show me how that worked out well. It just doesn't work. You know, no matter what you do, even if you pull it off, you can only pull it off temporarily. And once you get tired, when you get tired of the show and the charade, you will return to who you actually were, and they will be even more thrown off by it then. I think that we could save ourselves a whole lot of drama and trouble and unnecessary strife if we first understand that we aren't meant to be appealing to everybody. Everybody isn't supposed to like us. Everybody isn't supposed to want to be around us. Everybody who thinks that they want to be in our world is not supposed to be there. They're not even compatible enough to be there. Just gonna let that sit there for a second. Especially if you are attracted to them. Just because you're attracted to them doesn't mean they're supposed to be there. Just because they're attracted to you doesn't mean it's now your obligation to make them comfortable with being in your presence. If they are in fact uncomfortable with your presence, your personality, your persona, your style, however it is you move through the world, and they think they want to be a part of it, but they are somehow uncomfortable with it, rest assured that that's their responsibility to deal with. It is not yours. Does that mean that there aren't some things about how you approach people, how you speak to people, maybe how you even interact with people that should be attended to? That maybe there's a healthier way that you could do it. Maybe there's a way that you could do it that would actually facilitate better and deeper and longer and stronger connections. That's always, not only is it a possibility, it's a reality all the time. This whole idea of self-development is continual. There's not a point that you get to where you can say, okay, now I've done it all, now I know it all, now I am doing everything optimally and there's nowhere else for me to improve or to go. That's not what this discussion is about. But this discussion is about being your authentic self, always. No matter how or who likes it or doesn't like it, because you are not here to make other people comfortable with you. I'm going to say that again. You are not here to make other people comfortable with you. No matter who those people are. You could be married to those people. I do believe I hear toes crunching. You could be married to those people and you are still not obligated to make them comfortable with you. And that's important to remember as you evolve, because people do evolve. And over time, they change. Imagine that. Because anything that is growing is changing. It is a part of being alive and well and seeking to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be. And some of the changes that you make on the way could make people very uncomfortable. That is no reason, excuse, or validation for not doing it. I'll say it again. That's not a good enough reason not to do it. If it is a part of your authentic evolution, whatever the change is that you want to make, maybe you want to get stronger, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to go back to school, maybe you want to start a business, maybe you want to change the entire dynamic of your relationship. Maybe you've been in a relationship where you've been the giver most of the time, and now you want to focus some of your time and attention and intellectual capital on yourself. There are people who have a vested interest in making sure that that doesn't happen, because they are quite comfortable having you exactly as you are. I'm going to say this clearly. That doesn't have anything to do with you. Managing other people's expectations of you is not your job. Making them comfortable with you is not your job. So men are not intimidated by you. And if they are, that's not your job. Men are going to like what they choose to like at any given moment in time, just like women are. And that can change from moment to moment. Anybody who's been in a long-term relationship knows this. Some of the same stuff that you loved about them when you first got together will be the things that drive you crazy a few months later on, or maybe a few years later. Whatever it is, it's inevitable. Some of the same things that you thought were adorable will get on your last nerve if you give it enough time. So what do you do then? Do you keep changing, trying to keep people comfortable with you? See, this is why I hate this thing, because sound quality is good, but they just keep jumping out of my ears. Anyway, I want to make the distinction between people being intimidated and you being intimidating, because they are not the same. That's one of the pitfalls that we just get ourselves into, trying to be in relationships, trying to be what other people think we should be, trying to fit this mold or this expectation of what we believe other people want. And it never works well for us. And it doesn't work well for the relationship either. Or we would not have these dismal relationship statistics that we do have. Just show up yourself and give the people who really want to connect with who you are authentically a chance to do exactly that. Let them connect with who you are instead of getting mad because they connected with who you weren't, because you were so busy pretending to be what you believed they wanted you to be in order to get whatever it was you thought you wanted from them. And at the end of the day, whatever you think you want from them usually boils down to one very specific thing: acceptance. You want unconditional acceptance, and whatever that looks like to you. And it looks different to everybody, by the way. There's no set definition for that. But people are looking for acceptance, particularly in their intimate relationships. And whatever they have to do to achieve it, that's what they do. And that's how they end up in these traps that they can't get out of. They paint themselves into these corners, and then they get mad when they can't get out. It is not your job to manage the feelings, the emotions, the perceptions of other people as it relates to you. Your only obligation, responsibility, function in a relationship is to be exactly who you are. Something that you know you can sustain. Stop sending your representative to make a relationship that your real self is going to have to maintain. That's why it doesn't work. Stop letting your representative sign contracts that you can't sustain, because you're the one who's going to end up sustaining them, not your representative. But that's a different video for a different time. And my battery's running out. My battery's going a little low, but this is the first time this year I've actually stopped to talk to you guys live, so I wanted to do at least that before any more of the year slipped away from me. And I want to do this more regularly. So if there's something that you'd like me to talk about, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely be back to see what your feedback is on this one. But yeah, ladies, stop stressing yourself about being intimidating to men. You are not intimidating to men. No matter what your accomplishments are, no matter what kind of stuff you have, no matter how luxury your lifestyle might be, no matter what kind of job you have, family you're from, circles you run in, whatever. Men are not intimidated by you. Men are actually attracted to that stuff. That's what gets their attention in a lot of cases. That's how they noticed you in the first place. If you were running around doing your thing the way you run around and do your thing, and it got their attention, there was something about it that attracted their attention. So they're not intimidated, they're attracted to it. And let's face it, if that's what's attracting them to you, then that's what they're going to want to see from you anyway. So if you find yourself in a situation where that's not what they want from you, or once they get close to you, they start trying to rewrite you, then you know that's not where you're supposed to be. And you don't have to be mean or nasty. It doesn't have to get ugly or loud. You can simply just keep them at a distance or walk away in love. You can walk away wishing them the best. You can walk away hoping nothing but good things for them. There's no reason to be angry or upset just because you're incompatible. You're incompatible with most people, as it should be. You're not supposed to be compatible with everybody. Everybody's not supposed to share their life with you. And just because you're attracted to them means absolutely nothing on the compatibility scale. Attraction is a great thing, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should be with somebody you're not attracted to. What I am saying is that attraction is not now, nor will it ever be enough to sustain a relationship. And neither is love, by the way. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean you should be in a relationship with them. But that, again, is another video for another time. Just remember, love is unconditional. Relationships are not. Maybe that'll be my next video. But for now, I'm going to sign off because, yeah, the circumstances are conspiring against me. I'm running out of time and out of battery, but I'll be back. So please leave your comments below and share the video because somebody might need this reminder. It may be helpful more than you know. And I'm only one person, I can only reach so many. So I would really appreciate your help expanding the reach. Thank you for your time and attention again. Thank you for stopping by to show love on my wall. I appreciate it. I'll try to keep the content coming for you. And if there's anything specific you'd like me to talk about, let me know. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day. Get out, make some vitamin D if you haven't done so already. You guys know how much I love the sunshine, and since the temperature is actually reasonable here for a change, I'm actually out here in the elements and enjoying it. So I encourage you to do likewise. Go make some of your own vitamin D and enjoy the process. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you totally. Bye-bye.